Oh, I still have my headphones in. I was just on the phone. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome. I just got back from a walk. I was on the phone with my friend Amy. We were chatting, and now I'm back. So, okay, let's get this picked. It's day 10, it's the end of the second week. Amazing. Can't believe it. We've had a number of people get bingo, which is exciting. All right. Friday. My morning was not busy. I was able to get a ton of work done without any interruptions. And this afternoon, I have like meeting after meeting after meeting. Oh, good. I like being busy. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's woven Picot, closed base Picot. Not my favorite. Not my favorite, but I'll do my best. Okay. So we have it in number 4. All right, I'm gonna, oh, hey, Arlene. All right, I'm gonna switch this. Okay. You can do it. Thank you, Lisa. Yes. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna, let's see. Let me show you this. Let's find Bonnie's. Here's hers right here. So the woven Picot is cool. It's kind of like this detachable. I mean, you can tack it down. She actually did tack hers down right here. But it's like this little woven flappy thing. And then, hey, for 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you can tack it down, or you can leave it like up. And then look at, she made like little eyelids for the eyeballs, which is really cool. So it looks like she made the Picot thing and then tacked it down on the side. That's really cool. Very funny. And underneath it's just a stem stitch, it looks like. So pretty cool. I had it not on the board, and this is not my best work, and I kind of got a little sassy. So I made somebody sticking his tongue out because I was like, I'm not enjoying this. So it's this crazy hair, and then I just did like 2 little stitches for the eyes, and then sticking its tongue out. But I'm just gonna run real quick and get another one because I did another one. Hold on. This is the thing that I was showing you guys yesterday. I went in and wrote the names of the stitches, but here are 2. So these, this is a 3, kind of like 3 spoked 3 warp stitches. And then this is 5 warp stitches. So you have to do an odd number. You can't do an even number. What witchcraft is that? Wait, which witchcraft? Yeah, so this is what we're going to do today. It's pretty cool. I don't know why I don't love it. All right. Tell me about the witchcraft you're wondering about. Give me more. There's like, it's a little bit of a delay, so sometimes we don't really know what you guys are referring to. All right, so we are in number 4, I said. Woven Picot, number 4. This one. So, kind of reminds me of this. We haven't done this one yet, but this is this is the double cast on. And that just made me think of that because it's kind of similar. It's like textural like that. And, but the end is tacked down, and I just did it in box number 4. So that made me think of that. The stitch for today, it's incredible. Oh yeah, it is pretty cool. It is. Yeah, it does seem like a little bit of witchcraft. You can do a lot with it, which is neat. So in some ways, I kind of wish Bonnie had gotten that one, just because she's like, it just comes so easily to her to come up with like wild ideas. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate it on the tail. So we can just have like a just like a basic demo there. And then maybe, oh, actually, I think I'll do the wing. That's cool. I'll do the wing. And then number 2 for you. Cool. You love this stitch. Yeah. Yeah, it is cool. I'm going to do the wing to demo. And then I kind of feel like doing a little bit of an accessory. So maybe, I don't know. I'll figure something out, but we'll do the wing first. You've never even heard of it. You're hella excited. Nice. Okay. All right. How's everybody's Friday going? That's a funny face thing that you just sent. Okay. All right. I don't know if Bonnie has shared them yet. I haven't really been on Instagram yet today, but we had some really nice emails come in from people who are giving ideas. Oh, it is way easier to do this stitch with the pearl cotton. I haven't tried it yet with the stranded floss. It might be hard because you would probably, oh, hi, Bonnie. It would be difficult to not pick up the individual threads and to make sure that you're getting it as a bunch. So if you have a pearl cotton or just like some kind of like heavier weight, at least for the warp stitches, but you actually have to use the same thread for the whole thing now that I think about it. So hopefully you have pearl cotton. If you don't, try it with the stranded and just, be patient with yourself. Okay. So I'm going to take this pink out of here. I'm going to use pink. Oh, no, that's pink. What is that pink? Oh, it's the end of the variegated. Never mind. I'm going to take it from here. Okay. I saw pink in there and just thought it was this, but it wasn't. Arlene says, nice weather today. It is beautiful. I just went for that walk I was telling you before, and it was so pretty. I still, wore a hat and mittens and a winter jacket, but it's so pretty out. Not too windy, very sunny. And I was just on the phone with my friend Amy, and we both have Raynaud's, and we were talking about how it's so annoying in the winter because our hands are either white from not enough blood, or they turn like when they get cold, sometimes they just like turn bright red. And they're like, what? Why can't I just have like my regular skin color? I'm going to use a bigger. Actually, so you guys, you want to use the smallest needle you can. I forgot to mention that. You want to use the smallest needle that your thread can use because it reduces the like loop at the top. Let me show you. There's going to be a tiny little loop. There may be a tiny little loop when you do it at the top because the needle you're going to need 2 needles actually, and it holds it in place. And so sometimes you can get this tiny little loop. It's not like, I don't know if I can show you, but you can see it on the darker blue one. You can see it. Do you see that? There's like a tiny little loop. So there's some things you can do to reduce the chance of that happening. One of them is by using the thinnest needle that your thread can accommodate. And so if you got our thread pack, that's going to be the John James, which is the thinner needle with the smaller eye. If you have a smaller needle that you can get the thread in through the eye, then use that. Okay. So that's something that you'll want to do. And then you're going to need a second needle. It's actually, Wait, maybe it's this needle that needs to be the thinnest. Let me think. Yeah, it's actually this needle. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to, let me just check my notes because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I wasn't kidding when I said this wasn't my favorite. You finally made the actual live. Yay! Oh, you've had the flu. Oh, bummer. Too bad. All right, hold on. So this is me suffering through woven picot. Okay, yes. So you want a small needle for both, but you also want to use a small needle for what you're going to build the stitches on. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put a needle in that's where you want it to be. So I want my base to be here. This is where it's going to be attached. And then this is where the top will be. So make sure you just watch me first before you try to do this, unless you know what you're doing. And then, so you're going to take your needle, your second needle, and you're going to put it in so that the base of the needle comes out at the bottom and the top of the needle is at the very top where you want the picot thing to end. Okay. So this is where I'm going to attach it. And then this is where I want it to end. And you can kind of see it's like a little bit shaped like a wing. So this wing right here is good for that. Bonnie knows what she's doing when it comes to design. You've got one of the stitches you wanted to pull. You're doing great. Thank you, Bonnie. This is definitely one of the ones that I did not want to pull. So hopefully I don't get Van Dyked. For anyone who doesn't know what that phrase means, a few years ago, I got the Van Dyke stitch and it was not good. And Bonnie actually came back in and had to do another video, just doing another demo. So hopefully I'm not getting Van Dyked here. All right. So I'm going to do 3, but I'm going to kind of spread them apart. So what you do is you're going to come up on one side on the left edge of the picot thingy, and then you come back in on the right side. Okay. And then you're going to come up right in between those two, which is also where your needle is. It's off the board, but you love learning these new stitches. Oh, good. Great. I'm so glad that you are enjoying it. Not being perfect is actually encouraging to us in a way. Thank you, Lisa. That is what I tell myself. So, yep. Okay. So what you can do is you can actually, if you wanted, you could pull that out, and then because that's not gonna stay. Obviously, you're not gonna leave that in the fabric, but you can come up in the middle if you want it to be exactly in the middle. Come up in the middle, and then come back out with this like that. And then you're going to come up, and then you're going to go around the needle again. So if you're doing 5, you would just do another one of these stitches. So I'll just pretend I'm doing 5, even though I'm only doing 3. So instead of coming up, I would have come up farther over. But you basically want to take, here, I can draw this. I'll draw what I mean. That is the answer I shall draw. Okay. So if you want it to have 5, you need it to look like that. Well, they would be all the same length. You need it to look like that. So you have your needle in the fabric. You're going to come up and go around it and then go back in. And then you're going to divide, you're going to divide the spaces on either side in half. So you'd come up here, go around the needle and go back in halfway. And then you would come up right here and then you'll bring the needle around, bring the thread around the needle. So now it's going to be out like this. So now you have your 5 warp stitches. Okay. So come up, go around the needle, go back in. Come up again in that, dividing that space between your first thread and the needle in half. Go around, go back in, and then come up right where the needle is. And then go around the needle one more time, but don't go back in the fabric. Okay. So that's how you do more than 3. You could do 7. I mean, you can do anything. That's the format you follow. You just keep dividing it in half. Okay. All right. So, but I'm only doing 3. So I bring my needle up and around. And so now I've got my 3 here, here, and here. Okay. And this is where you're going to want to pull this tight, not so tight that you pucker your fabric or, move that pin. But you're just going to want to make sure that it's tight and make sure that your foundation stitches are all, flush against the fabric. This one was like a little bit loose, so I fixed it. Okay. And what that does when you pull it tight is it reduces the chance of there being that little loop at the end. And you can see that that's how that loop starts, is because we're going to now weave, and this needle or this pin or needle, whatever you're using, is going to have thread wrapped around it, which is what makes that little loop. Okay. And this is where you could use a tapestry needle if you have one. And if you don't, you can use the eye end of your needle. And that's just so you don't catch the fabric and, like just accidentally split the threads. Okay. So you're going to come here and then you're going to go, I don't know if it matters if you go over, under, or under, over first. I'm trying to think if it matters. I'm going to go over, under. I don't think it matters. But anyway, now you just start weaving. Okay. So I went over, under. Okay. And then you're going to come back the other way. And so from the left, I went over the outside one. So from the right, I'm going to go under the outside, over the middle, and then under the other outside. And then what you can do is also use this needle to slide your weft stitch up, your weft thread up. Now, don't pull too tight. I mean, you can pull tight if you want, but if you pull tight, it is going to distort the shape. So if you want a distorted shape or you want to experiment with that, then pull tight. From the side. But what you really want to do is make sure these are tight. Make sure your weft stitches are like super slid up. Okay. Now on this side, I went over the outside and under the middle, pushing it up. It reminds me of my speed loom, which I can show you. I still have a sock on from last year because I haven't finished it. So if anybody has ever used a speed loom before, it's kind of the same way. It's the same idea. Like you've got it all set up and then you just weave it back and forth. I stopped doing this and then I discovered felting my holes in my wool socks, and I'll never go back. Felting is way faster. All right. So now I'm on this side. So that means I'm going to go under, over, under, slide up my warp stitches, and I'm not pulling too tight. And so you can see there is a gap there, but when I go through again, I'm going to push it up. So it's tight. It is a tiny loom. It's exactly what we basically set up a speed weave loom. Yep. Okay. So then this one, I go over the outside, under the middle, over the outside again, slide it up. Okay. And then you could use variegated. That would be really cool. You know what's so funny is that these that I did are actually with the variegated blue, but the two pieces that I had happened to not have any variegation in them. I like that's where they just happen to be where I cut them. So, oh, that's okay, Sherry. Today's stitch is the woven picot closed base. The closed base, I cannot demonstrate for you because I did not, when I did it, it did not work out. So, but I think what you do is instead of having your warp stitches spread apart here, you have them close here. I just don't understand how it works. When I tried it, it looked terrible. Maybe Bonnie could do a Van Dyke video on the closed base one. Oh, all right. So I'm here, and then I'm going to go under the outside, over, and then under. Okay. And remember, if you don't pull too tight, because it will warp it'll warp the shape of your stitches. Okay. So then I'm going to go over, under. Okay. So, Sherry, I can show you how to get it started because you came in late. So hopefully everybody else is happily stitching. Over, under, slide, push up those weft stitches. And over, under. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this down for a sec and show. Here, I can show you, Sherry, and anyone else who may have come in late. Okay, so to set it up, you're going to put a needle in, and you want the needle to come out. You want the top of the needle, you want the top of the needle to go in where you want the top of your little picot flap to be. That's where that goes in. And then you're gonna set up your warp stitches by, hold on, let me just thread this. Okay, I'm threaded. All right, so to set it up, you're going to have you have to think about how wide you want it. And so you're going to come up on one side of the outside edge, then go around the back of the needle that's there, and then go back in. And so that needle is now halfway between the outside, it's in the middle of the flap. If you want to do 5 stitches, five warp stitches, then you would come up here and then, I'll just do it. Come up and then go around again and back in. You're dividing the space between the needle and the outside stitches. And then for the last one, the 5th one, it has to be an odd number. You can't do this with an even number. You come up just right in the middle. You can move that needle if you want. Yeah, I wonder if can I invite you? I wonder if I can invite you. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, so then I put that where I need it. Just gonna bring this back down. Okay, and now you come up and now you're ready to start. You've got your anchor stitches, your warp stitches. And then what you do is you just come around and then just make sure all your warp stitches are tight. And then you come around and then you start weaving. And then, so you're going to go like over, under, over. I'm going to take this out, but, and then you just keep going back and forth. And don't pull too tight because you'll distort the shape of it. Okay. Should I try a closed base? I mean, I could try it. Let's see what happens. But yeah, Bonnie can come back. Or, you know, yeah, you could either go live or you could just record a video and upload it if you wanted, if that's easier. Oh my God, what happened here? All right, let's try this. Be brave. Hey, Aubrey. This is the Picot, woven Picot. I just demoed it, and I'm going to try demoing the closed base. Okay, so let me just look at this. I'm just looking at the pictures. It's the same thing, but why when I did it? It looked terrible. Okay, so all right, so you've got, it's the same setup. Okay, so this is the setup, Aubrey, since you just joined. You're going to have a needle. You need another needle or a pin. I'm just using a straight pin. And then for the regular woven Picot, your base stitches are gonna be spread apart from each other. But here they're gonna be next to each other. So I'm gonna come around and go back in on the other side. And then I'm going to come up right at the base. So I guess it's just like a skinny version of it. And I go around. I mean, it's just like a skinny version, I guess. Number 9, number 10. Okay, so this time I went under, over, under first. Is this right, Bonnie? I don't know. I think I just like the look of the other one better. And it's a little tricky because they're closer together, so it can be easier to weave under the wrong one. Under, over, under. Slide those up. Oops, I undid it. I got lost. All right, this is feeling very Van Dyke-y. For the closed base, the needle doesn't go back in the fabric. What? You start from the bottom? No. You just wrap around. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to let Bonnie do that. I'm abandoning ship, and I'm cool with it. All right, so back to this one. Just weaving. Yay. The needle doesn't go back in the fabric. Oh. We got a really nice email from, so in our town, we have a Facebook group. We're just here for the entertainment. It's all fun. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, luckily, I don't care. Luckily, I've done this enough that I know it just doesn't matter. So in our town, we have a Facebook group called Facebook Fairfield Shares, and it's one of those buy nothing groups. And so people are, there are many people in this town who are very well off. And there are also a lot of people who are not. And this Facebook group is just such like a lovely group of people that share things for free. And then you can also ask for things that you need and all sorts of stuff. It's just so cool. And I think my sisters and I were talking about why it works here so well. And we think it's because there's a really wide variety of socioeconomic levels in this town. And so it's just like, there, I don't know, it's just, there's something about that group that's really cool. So anyway, Bonnie and I always give away one of our bingo boards in that group, just to like as a way to give back to the community. And it's also, of course, good advertising. But we mostly do it just to, participate in the community and be generous and, and kind of give back for all the things that we've gotten from there over the years. Cause we have gotten like a number of craft supplies from there over the years, or just like random things that we need for a project. And so we gave away our bingo board with some threads, and the woman that won it, and it's cool. The way that you win is it's not first come, first serve. When you give something away, you actually have to leave it up for 24 hours. And then you can pick the winner based on anything. So like I have done it before where I gave it away just based on, like, I just asked Google to pick a number between 1 and 10 or whatever, however many people there were that wanted the item. And then, or you can like give it away to the person who tells the best story about why they need it or whatever, it's up to you. And so this one woman, Allison, she said that she was really interested, and so she won the random drawing. We just did it randomly, and she won it. And we got the nicest email from her with a great picture of her board, and she's enjoying it so much. She didn't know anything about embroidery before, and now she's like she said she's finally getting the hang of it. And she used our instructional videos to get started, and she's like really loving it, and it's just so cool. Yeah, you're just here for the entertainment. All right, good. Yeah, this looks like a tongue. Look, it totally looks like a tongue. I am making a tongue on this bird's side. It even has like the line down the middle. Yep. So anyway, Allison, if you're watching this, we're so glad you're here. Yep. Cool. Oops, sorry. And it's just such a nice group. We've got people from all over the world, even in this chat right now. So cool. I love bingo. And I hope it grows. Every year it has grown, and I just hope it continues to grow. Although we were saying, oh, if it grows too much, that's right. We did almost do it last year for tongues. Well, we could have for sure. This bird has a tongue on its wing. We were saying that if it gets too big, we're going to have to hire help because all the prep work is like a lot. But it's always worth it. I just poked myself. I'm now part of the poke club in our so fun kids after school classes. Every day someone's responsible for putting the poke club on the board, and then kids can write their names on there if they get poked. Kind of takes the like fear out of poking themselves. And then sometimes kids will poke themselves on purpose because they want to join the club. You're from Oklahoma. You're originally from Texas. Your husband calls you his transplant. Yes. Oh, she's not here with us right now, but Kelly, one of our bingoers, she lives in New Zealand, and she is also from Texas. Where in Texas are you from? I'm sorry, I'm completely blanking on your first name. I'm going to look it up. Kendra, right. I knew it started with a K. Kendra, where are you from? Vernon, Texas. I don't know where that is. My sisters-in-law live in Flower Mound, which is outside of Dallas. I'm actually going to go to Austin in March. There's going to be an ADHD conference there in March. For anybody who doesn't know, I am in my job. I am an executive function coach. So I help people with time management, organization, planning, all those skills we use to get through our days. And many people with executive function challenges have ADHD. It's in the right corner of the Red River and the Panhandle. Cool. So I'm going to be in Austin. There's a conference. I'm actually leading a workshop at the conference, which is very exciting. And yeah, that'll be fun. I like Austin. My nephew is in Austin at UT Austin, and he is going to be on spring break when I'm there, but he is going to be there like on the last day or the second to last day that I'm there. So we're going to get together for dinner. So this is what can happen when you make your stitches, your warp stitches, different lengths. So I was like following the curve here. And so this one is shorter. So I just kind of have to I'm actually flipping my needle around to get the pointy side so I can find that stitch. So I just went under that one. Now I'm going over this one, and now I'm just using this to find it. There's probably some fancy way to make it curved, but I'm just going to do it this way. So I am switching to the pointy side, like I said, but I'm just going to do it really carefully. So I'm just going to kind of shove in a bunch of weft stitches at the bottom. Bonnie and I are going to start an interview series. We're going to interview creatives. We're going to do those. They'll be on YouTube. And so that'll be fun. Another thing that I used to do, but it just ended as I hosted the podcast for the company that I was working for. It's a coaching company, and I also worked in the marketing department. So I hosted their podcast, which was super fun. But I'm not working there anymore, just as a coach and not in the marketing department. And so I ended hosting the podcast last week. And so I was telling Bonnie, I'm like, I need to get my podcast fix. I really enjoy it. And I really enjoy interviewing people. It's super fun. It's so interesting. So we're going to interview creatives and get them on our show. So if you guys have any creatives that you love to follow and you want us to interview them, then let us know, because maybe we'll reach out and see if they'll come on. All right. So I ended up taking this little stitch out because it was kind of in the way and I didn't need it anymore. And so I'm now done. I don't want to do any more weaving. So I'm just going to go back in right over here. I just finished that last weft stitch, and then just going to flip it over. And then it's so interesting. I did all that work on the other side. There's only just a couple things going on the back, which is so interesting. But there's this here. So I will tie off to this. All right. And that, my friends, is the woven Picot, not the closed base. So it's pretty cute. It's also a tongue. You know what I'm going to do? I don't want it to look like a tongue. So I am going to jazz it up a bit with this. I'm going to just do an additional little bit of weaving on it. Not into the tongue look. know if this will make it not look like a tongue, but I'm gonna try. You know what it's like? It's like one of those tongues from, who was it? Kiss? Was it Kiss that did that? You'll hop on after to show how to do the close for anyone else. I wonder if can I like, I wonder if I can add you. Like on Instagram, we could add. Oh, I could start a Q&A and start a poll. I don't think I can add you. Oh shoot, I actually have to go. I have a meeting at 1:45. All right, so I'm gonna do this offline, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come in and just do a little bit of weaving on this back and forth, just to add like some extra color. So, all right, so follow Bonnie. She will, she'll start a new live if you want to watch that. You can see that, and we will be back on Monday. I'll send out the recap email tonight. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining me today as I create a tongue wing. And that's it. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week, day 11. It's crazy. All right. So hang around on YouTube and look for the live to pop up if you want to join Bonnie. Thanks, Bonnie. All right. Bye. See you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.